Because of the opposition of the two established churches in Harrison, the first service of our church was in Isaac Mettler's barn in 1833. Growing quickly and officially organizing in 1834 as the Church of Christ, the first permanent church building was soon erected in West Harrison, Indiana. Moving into Harrison, Ohio in 1868, a new church building was erected at its present location of Park and Sycamore Street, and the church became known as the Christian Chapel. Over the next century, the church became known as the First Christian Church of Harrison, with major upgrades or renovations occurring in the building several times, including a 3-story educational building addition in 1957 and a major sanctuary remodeling in 1969. This building was used for worship and all church activities until the new worship center was completed and used for worship and additional activities in 2003. But the church is much more than its buildings. The heart of the church is its people. Enjoy the memories of several of First Christian Church's longtime members.
And how long have you been a member at First Christian?
I was on the cradle roll when I was 3 months old.
Yeah.
I got that from my baby book.
Yeah, is that right?
I don't remember that. Then we married Mary Davis. She was a life bender at the church.
Mm-hmm.
We were married with Reverend Cohagen. And then Karen, their daughter, turned chunk. She was a youth minister in her senior years.
Is that right?
Yeah, so.
You won't believe it. Since 1933.
1933.
Oh, and I was married in October the 22nd, 1932, and I started going to church there.
Oh.
And I first went to that little UB church around the corner from in front of our church, you know, United Brethren, they called it.
Mm-hmm. Is
I
that
went there
right?
with John and Lone Carroll and Louis Brain that lived out here in the country, and Faye Russell. That's the only ones I can remember then. Wasn't very big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lois invited me over here to this church about 52 years ago, right before we were married. And came out of the UCC church about 4 generations, and I was ecumenical minded, and I come over here and said, well, I've been here ever since.
Well, Norma joined in 1940, and I joined in 1944. Then we started our CU Sunday class in 1948, and we done a lot of good for the church.
When we were going together, I went to the Methodist Church at Miamitown. I was a member there. And he would go with me one Sunday, and he was treated, I thought, cool, you know. And then the next Sunday, I would go to church with him. And everybody treated me like I was somebody special. And I got to know a lot of people at the church, and I told him, I said, we're going to get married in the Christian church. And I've been there ever since.
What is your best or fondest memory of First Christian over the years?
When Karen Rimbarker and I were as part of the 150th anniversary celebration, and each month we had a specific Sunday that we did remembrances about. And I portrayed Noel Shaw and dressed up in that type of garb. And she was the widow Jenkins. And I know she and I had a ball with it. And I think it was a nice Sunday that we did that.
Well, it was just very nice, and the people were all real friendly and, you know, outgoing, and you just felt at home there, you know. And I've gone there a long time.
And there was a pump organ or some pipes back there, as I recall.
Pipe organ.
Yeah.
And they'd have a boy pump the organ, the pipe blower. And one time he went to sleep. Another time, a couple of boys playing cards back there. So there was a little door in the choir loft in there, so they had the boy sit in the choir loft when he wasn't pumping the organ. So,
Took that kitchen, cleaned it all out and everything, and repainted it and done all that, tiled it. We took the CU classroom that we got now.
Mm-hmm.
We went and painted all of that and everything and cleaned it up, put draperies and curtains up.
The chuck wagon, we had the chuck wagon, And it was a fundraising vehicle that was taken around to all the fairs and everything. They fried hamburgers, and everyone made pies, and they sold pies and hamburgers, and they made money, and the money went to pay for the edition that was put on in 1958, I believe, was when we put it on. We had so many members, and we had so many children. That's one thing about First Christian. We've always had a lot of children, and that's what it's all about. So we had Sunday school classes stuck in every cubby hole you could think of. I mean, we just were out of room. And there were like 2 in the kitchen, and there was a furnace room. We had a CU class that was next to the furnace room, and I mean, it was really crowded. So we got to where we had to do something.
And then they took down the pipe organ and took the pipe organ out and took out the pipes, and it just made such a different look. And I don't remember ever hearing the pipes myself, but I know that I've heard a lot of stories about the pipe organ and the pipes. Yeah. But they took them out, and all the new furniture, and it just gave it such a different look. Moved rooms, we opened it up and took that one room out. But there's always controversy about I like it or I don't like it, but we get used to it. And without those things, we're not going to progress.
Yeah. I couldn't attend church in the old sanctuary.
Because of the steps you had to, those were just not maneuverable for you, huh? So when the...
Glad that I could come to on the ground level to go to worship.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I really got a lot out of, and I think I grew, was I was associated with some wonderful men when I became an elder in '74. And all except Don Evans have gone to be with their Lord by now. And those fellas are Fred Kendrick and Adrian Lytle and Ralph McClure and Lester Stone and Russell Adams and Frank Gully. And I don't think I'm leaving anyone out. And each one of those men, they were long-term elders, each one of them. And anytime I had a problem that either personal or church-wide, either one, I would go to one of them, and they always had an answer. And they always could give you some advice and comfort you and say, no, everything will be all right when you were just about beside yourself. So those were wonderful.
That was around 1970, I believe. And Roger Meredith was here then, and he thought we should have a Bible study group. And it was women, but it turned out to be ecumenical, and it was wonderful because we had all these other inputs. Mm-hmm. And we met on Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock for 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
And the only time we didn't is if that was Christmas, and you never missed unless it was a matter of life or death, and it had to be yours. We were very committed, very committed.
It keeps growing all the time, I know. And I have a lot of friends there. I found out when I was in the hospital, many friends. So.
Yeah, well, you got to grow. I mean, if you don't, you're not going to accomplish anything.
It's hard to imagine that they can expand that much. I hope it's successful.
Well, that's for sure. Well, one of the big things is try to offer those opportunities for ministry to reach out into the community.
No, it's a lot to look forward to.
Well, that's for sure.
Boy, remarkable how this grew.
So we were all together then, and we went ahead and done it, and it served a purpose for a lot of years. And of course, when we started running out of room again, you know what we done now. So hopefully we'll keep that'll keep happening.